Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Swallowed Star based on novel. So let's start. Luo Feng stood beside the vast galaxy, gazing at the ice hell star. Even though it was very far away, it was similar to how Earth humans could easily see the sun. Luo Feng's vision was at a level where he could see one's facial hairs up to 10,000 kilometers away. Naturally, he could see the distant ice hell star easily. Black metal board. Luo Feng felt the strong calling from there. Yes. That one. He fixed his gaze on one particular star. It's coming from there. The coordinates the great being gave was right. The black metal board is there on that star. The mission he gave me was very simple. It was to enter the ice hell star, take the metal board and leave. However, the stars are nests for special life forms, and every star represents a type of special life form. Luo Feng thought. The special life forms that lived within each ice hell star was named Doku by the other races of the universe. Doku were life forms formed from extreme cold. They were demon-like in appearance and incredibly pure. Though pure, they were purely bloodthirsty, as killing was a game to them, and they felt no sense of evil. Even though they had no way to reproduce, they were all naturally talented. It was said that there were 1,000 Dokus within the area, and this was their nest. According to the information from the Virtual Universe Company, among these 1,000 Doku, there were 100 that became Undyings, and 2 that even became Knights. Among which the 100 Undyings built their own ice hell stars. Dokus are special life forms, and even at the same level, they are stronger than humans by 100 times. Luo Feng thought. A human emperor's body limit was 100,000 times that of Sector Lord's strength, unless there was some genetic evolution. For the Dokus, however, an emperor could reach 10 million Sector Lord's strength. This was their pure god body, and not accounting amplification techniques. Just like how the golden horned beast was 10 times stronger than humans. The special life forms of the universe, the weakest of the lot, were comparable to the beast. Every ice hell star is very dangerous. I may be able to fight a Doku Undying, but the moment there's a commotion, I'll be exposed. He thought. There hasn't been anyone that had survived after being exposed within ice hell star, because there were 2 knights there. They were special life forms, hence they were much more powerful than many human knights. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Just as Luo Feng had finished observing the situation and pondering. Suddenly, a blurry silhouette rushed out from the vast space ahead. Ha ha ha. Ha. A crisp voice filled with cold energies pierced through the space and spread throughout. The laughter was filled with joy. Luo Feng gazed. In the distance 3 silhouettes rushed out, 1 purple in color, and 2 green-colored. The purple one was about 3.2 meter tall and graceful, and was completely purple. He had 100 purple braids from his head. The crystal-like armor on his body was translucent. From it, one could see its body, and it took on the form of a human lady. The other 2 green ones were 3.6 m tall, extremely handsome, with 100 green braids each. They donned a green armor, and were similar to human males in looks. As special life forms, they had no sex distinction. This outer appearance purple represented the difference in their talent level. The purple were rarer, the green were more populated. The cold air around the purple Doku could easily freeze souls, and the green ones could freeze the bodies. Together, the 3 of them laughed and cheered about. Their speeds were incredible, easily reaching light speed and going through universe travel, disappearing from Luo Feng's sight. Universe travel. Luo Feng looked on carefully. The rubbish about the space about have been cleared. It's easy to reach light speed. The 3 Dokus earlier, they are weaker, they should be Sector Lord level. But their strength is similar to a normal Undying, and they can easily go through universe travel to return to their nest. Looks like I have to do it this way. Luo Feng nodded. Within his world ring, black-clothed Luo Feng stood there. The 12 warriors bowed respectfully. Master. Tian Chen. Luo Feng looked over. Master. Tian Chen replied. You have a few officials under you, right? Call them out. The more nimble the better, the smarter ones. Luo Feng said. Tian Chen and Kai Mang were both soul masters, both with a group of slaves under them. They may have few emperor slaves, but there were many officials. Yes. Tian Chen waved his hand, and beside him a 1.1 m tall little crooked being appeared. It was filled with black scales, and its eyes were jade green. This was the demon race's devil shell monkey. Master. It smiled evilly. From now on, you will listen to my master's orders. Tian Chen pointed at Luo Feng. Fully submit to him, his orders to you, is akin to my orders. Yes, yes, yes. The monkey replied. Black-clothed Luo Feng looked at this official level undying. You have a small and large scanner. No. It replied. Mars. Tian Chen was about to speak when he was shushed. Luo Feng flipped his hand and tossed out a scanner. This one has both the functions of a large and small scanner. This is a virtual universe connection device, anonymous device. Luo Feng tossed out an armband. Make them both recognize you. Yes, yes, yes. The monkey was very excited. Virtual universe. The helmet devices kept its users anonymous, much less with Luo Feng's high status. It was easy to get one that could last forever. The only thing was these devices were controlled strictly by the virtual universe. Listen well. Luo Feng ordered. The monkey listened. When you leave in a while, you will accelerate to light speed and universe travel. In the dark universe, you will reach these coordinates and come back to the actual universe. Luo Feng's armband projected the star map. It was within the ice hell stars, of which he gave exact coordinates. When you appear, you should be 16 million kilometers away from this ice hell star. Remember, you need to activate the mini scanner and hide your tracks to not be detected. Then you will sneak into this star that you are closest to and search for a black metal board. This is what it looks like. Luo Feng explained the metal board to him. He also explained what to do after discovering it, in case the monkey screwed up. It was better to personally tell him what to do. Very good. Luo Feng nodded. Get ready to leave. I will immediately lead you in. Yes. The monkey had no sense of hesitation. Luo Feng's order was akin to his master's order. Even if he ordered him to self-destruct now, he wouldn't even resist. Hence, the moment one's soul was controlled, its entire core and being would submit to his master. Amidst the vast space, Luo Feng stood hidden. His mini-scanner was activated, and beside him stood the devil shell monkey. Just like that, accelerate and reach light speed and universe travel, go on. He ordered. Yes. The monkey's eyes were lit with excitement. Su. His speed increased, becoming a beam of light in space, quickly reaching light speed. The space shook before he vanished. Luo Feng gazed at the scene. The Doku's use universe travel to get from one ice hell star to another and to return. The distance is so far. Just flying normally would take 10 days to half a month, and universe travel ripples occur frequently. Then, the monkey's universe travel wouldn't garner too much attention. It'll depend on luck. Let's hope that its luck is good. Let this one slave bring me the metal board. Luo Feng thought. If he can't, at least I'll gain some information about the area. Entering the area was too dangerous. Luo Feng wouldn't blindly enter himself. Asterisk 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 asterisk. 16 million kilometers away from the ice hell star, the universe space rippled and the monkey appeared. He naturally activated his scanner. Hee, it's been too lonely following the master for so many years with nothing to do. There's finally something to do. Just what is this place? It seems dangerous. The monkey surveyed the area cautiously, using his consciousness to connect to the virtual universe, sending everything he saw to Luo Feng. Ice hell star. The monkey was clueless but brave. He had never heard of ice hell star, and he didn't know just how dangerous it was, but he still flew in cautiously. 16 million kilometers was very close. Even though he flew slowly, he got close within an instant. 2 beams of light shot out. 2 Sector Lord Docus appeared. and these two extremely handsome dokas were chatting and laughing. Even though their gaze had passed the monkey, with the scanner blocking him, he was completely hidden. At least he was not visible to the naked eye. The two dokas laughed and joked. They began to accelerate to light speed, after which they vanished into universe travel, heading to another area. Luckily they didn't discover me, however Master Shaw is cowardly. The two punks should only be at Sector Lord level. I can easily kill them. He even made it so that I cannot attack anything. The monkey carefully began to fly into Ice Hell Star. Finally, he entered the Ice Hell Star. Luo Feng stood hidden within the space belt, his consciousness connected to the virtual universe. Virtual universe primal region, within his villa. He's entered Ice Hell Star. He sat his desk, looking at the laptop before him. The screen displayed everything the devil shell monkey was sending. You can only depend on yourself now. Even I don't know where the black metal board is hidden. Luo Feng looked on. Ice Hell Star's temperature was extremely cold. The monkey landed on the surface. So cold. It looked about, his mini scanner covering his area. What metal board does Master want? And where is it? This Ice Hell Star had a diameter of over 8,000 kilometers. Its surface was bare. Only vast pathways lay ahead straight into the depths of the star. Pick a route. The monkey chose a path and sneaked in, relying on the small scanner to look about. The deeper he went, the colder it got. After about 3,000 kilometers, it finally reached the end. The depths of this star is actually a palace. It blinked its eyes and looked ahead. It was a completely purple and green mixed crystal palace that was over 1,000 kilometers tall. A terrifying energy emanated from within. A terrifying warrior is within. The monkey gritted his teeth. Master's Mazer, what should I do? It asked Luo Feng via the virtual universe. Activate your large scanner and control it to engulf the entire star, but avoid that palace. Other than that palace, scan everywhere else. Luo Feng ordered. Yes, Master. It had no sense of disobeying, immediately activating the large scanner. It began to swiftly scan through the entire ice hell. Other than the palace itself, it scanned everything. All the information was sent via the virtual universe to Luo Feng. Luo Feng looked at his laptop and frowned. Ice Hell Star is very much like the Bug Clan mother nest. He said softly, all the areas within the star have nothing, it's simply all ice. Without a doubt, the black metal board should be within the palace. Devil Shell Monkey. Close the large scanner and activate your mini scanner and enter the palace. Luo Feng ordered. Yes, Master. Asterisk. The monkey felt the strong energy from the palace, but it had no way to go against Luo Feng's order. He could only cautiously enter. The palace was too huge and empty. He couldn't see anyone. So cold. It flew slowly through the palace, not daring to fly too fast, in case he drew attention from the powerful warrior. Just where is it, black metal board, where is it? The monkey used his mini scanner to search about, just as he flew past one door. A formless ripple spread throughout the entire palace. Other race. An enraged howl resounded. A purple light almost instantly appeared before the monkey. Not good. The monkey was shocked. Activate your large scanner and scan the entire palace before fleeing. Luo Feng quickly ordered from the virtual universe. The monkey immediately did just so. He couldn't care less as he fled for his life. You think you can run? The purple silhouette pointed at the monkey. A purple beam of light shot out of his crystal-like finger, hitting the monkey. Ge. A layer of ice swiftly formed throughout its body, becoming a huge ice block. The monkey was completely immobilized within, its soul imprints completely frozen to the point it crumbled. It had fallen. Actually, the moment it became a soul slave, it was akin to having fallen. The universe was like that. The weak was the prey of the strong. Humph. The powerful purple silhouette snorted coldly. These other races, they all wished to get the Ice Hell Star Stone and the Ice Hell Dew. An official, and yet he dared come here, become an ice statue. After which he waved his hand. A powerful energy flowed through the corpse within the ice as it flew straight into the corner of the palace. there were already tens of ice statues there. They were all other race undyings that had come here to explore the palace. They had all been frozen solid. Virtual universe. Luo Feng carefully examined the last scan, seeing the layout of the entire palace. This palace actually has ice hell star stone. Through the scan, he had detected a fingernail-sized translucent purple stone. The black metal board is stored in another location. Okay, luckily it isn't with the stone. Luo Feng thought, there were two renowned treasures within Ice Hell Star, making some desperate warriors take the risk, gambling it all on the treasures. As long as they managed to get one, they would rise again. The first treasure was the Ice Hell Star stone, another was the Ice Hell Dew, of which one took extreme amounts of efforts from the green docus to create, while the other from the purple. These two were extremely valuable materials, they had special qualities. That fingernail-sized stone within the palace was worth about 2 trillion mixed elements. Treasure. However, the more valuable it is, the more dangerous the area. Luo Feng shook his head. Ice Hell Star is one of the top 6 most dangerous spots in the Black Flower region. Especially with the 2 Doku Knights, they are extremely powerful even amongst knights, akin to the Tian Shi Palace leader. The Great Being's test sure isn't easy. This palace has obviously been refined by that undying Doku into a weapon. The moment anyone enters, it would immediately sense. Luo Feng frowned. If I want to get the black metal board, I have to enter the palace, and yet the moment I enter, I would be detected. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Luo Feng stood hidden in space, gazing at the vast stars ahead, straight at that one Ice Hell Star. I will definitely be detected if I enter the palace. That would mean death. Luo Feng frowned. He looked forward, recalling the 3 sector lords earlier. He immediately thought, and the Mosha Luo Feng appeared. With black energies revolving about him, he became a 3.6 m tall green Doku, giving off ice-cold energies. Natural ability, clone. His life energy swiftly changed, becoming exactly similar to that green Doku earlier. As long as one doesn't specially scan my body, no one will be able to detect. This is one of the many plans, and the safest one with the highest chance of success. Let's hope it works. The Earth body and the Mosha body looked at the distant Ice Hell Star, after which, the Mosha body became a beam of light. He quickly accelerated. The Mosha body had the presence of the 20th level of the Heavenly Bridge. In terms of strength, it could completely suppress normal officials. Its high law comprehension allowed it to easily reach light speed. Universe travel. In an instant. About 6 million kilometers away from the star, he appeared. It was in his green Doku form. His life energy was similar to the one before. Naturally, he flew openly towards the star. He wouldn't be stupid enough to use a scanner to hide himself. Bay Fa, Bay Fa. A voice resounded within his ears. Luo Feng was shocked, turning to look. A distant beam of light flew over. It was a purple 3.2 m tall Doku. It was obviously more detailed and fine than Luo Feng. It flew over excitedly. Bay Fa, you heard that teacher Da La Sho caught another race warrior too. Ah, I only came here to pay my respects to him. Luo Feng thought fast and replied. Luckily, the language they used was the common demon language in the universe. Actually, due to the rarity of the special life forms, they all normally used common other race languages. Luo Feng could obviously use them too. As for his voice, he had heard the one before. Let's go, we can go see him together. The purple Doku grabbed Luo Feng's hand and flew downwards. Luo Feng could only follow. One green, one purple, flying down. Luo Feng and made ample preparation before. He also knew that the relations between the Dokus was very good. They were special life forms, born with endless lifespans. And life forms that could reproduce endlessly had to become undyings to achieve such a state. The long years of mingling together made it so that they valued every race member. As long as one died, even if it was only a sector Lord Punk, it would enrage all the Dokus. Even the 2 knights would come look for the murderer. However, the many explorers still killed many of them. The 2 held hands and followed the pathways of the Ice Hell Star, quickly reaching the Ice Palace. Teacher Da La Sho, Teacher Da La Sho. The purple Doku dragged Luo Feng and flew straight in. Luo Feng could only follow. They quickly reached the dangerous region of the palace. A silhouette walked out. It was the one that killed the monkey earlier. Ya Wu, Bei Fa, you've come. Da La Shou smiled, nothing like before. He was warm and friendly, but Luo Feng was clear. This was only towards its companions. If it discovered Luo Feng's identity, Da La Shou would definitely turn vicious. Where's that other race warrior? Wu Ya said, heading towards the ice statues. Moshe Luo Feng followed suit and looked at the ice statues behind. It's the demon race devil shell monkey, about official level strength. Da La Shou pointed at the statue. Wu Ya dragged Luo Feng and headed over. Luo Feng followed and landed before the monkey's statue. Ah, devil shell monkey, this is the first I've seen personally. Wu Ya's eyes gleamed. Bei Fa, you usually talk the most, why are you so quiet today? The purple silhouette reached Luo Feng in just one step, rubbing his braids affectionately. Luo Feng tensed up within. He let Da La Shou rub his braids as Ya Wu said beside. I too felt that Bei Fa was boring today. Are you troubled? Da La Shou continued to rub his braids. I'm just not in a good mood. I don't wish to talk about it. Luo Feng said. Da La Shou looked at him affectionately. Looks like Bei Fa is troubled. Think about it properly. Anything you cannot solve you can talk to me, I will tell you. Luo Feng nodded. He could feel the strong bonds shared between the group. This was a very powerful bond. The information was true. The Dokus are extremely vicious against intruders, but amongst themselves, they are very affectionate. Any person who kills a Doku would be chased down by all the others. Luo Feng thought. You two can play here. Da La Shou smiled. If you have any matters, come to the shrine to look for me. Okay, teacher. Wu Ya said. Understood, teacher. Luo Feng said. Da La Shou smiled and turned to leave. Only then did Luo Feng let out a sigh of relief. The footage of when he killed the devil shell monkey earlier was terrifying. Da La Shou was cold and murderous, now however he was almost motherly. Luo Feng didn't know that when the universe evolved, it produced the special life form Dokus at different times, and not simultaneously. Some were produced earlier or later than the others, and it had been over 300 million years since the last one was born. Da La Shou was one of the first 9 to be produced, trillions of years before Bei Fa and Wu Ya. Strength-wise he was also among the top 10, and it was his responsibility to mentor the weaker Dokus. Hence Bei Fa and Wu Ya all called him teacher. Luo Feng looked at the ice statues before him, of which the monkey was in one, and there was a Lei Quan race warrior too. There was even a human warrior. They were all frozen, and their souls long frozen to death. What an interesting monkey. Wu Ya carefully examined the monkey for a while. This is the first time I've seen it in real life. I've only seen it in the virtual world before. Virtual world. Luo Feng thought. The virtual skills were considered a very normal technology in the universe. A small area can be called a virtual world. Just like Earth back then, with the quantum computer they acquired from an ancient ship remains, they built the War God Shrine world. This was common technology. The hard part was expanding the area. A world that had an entire galaxy. One that had a star field, or a one whole territory of humanity, or the entire virtual universe. The larger the area, the harder it got. The Dokus have created a virtual world that covers the Ice Hell Star area. This is indeed easy. Acquiring many quantum computers from the generations of intruders should make this easy. Luo Feng understood. Bei Fa, let's head to the shrine to take a look. Wu Ya said. The techniques teacher created are very complex. I'm not going. Luo Feng said. I wish to walk alone. Wu Ya nodded. Right, the techniques he made are suited for us, not you all. Luo Feng was stunned for a while before he realized she was referring to the green and purple Dokus. Then I'm going. Wu Ya happily skipped and vanished. My luck sure is good. Luo Feng relaxed. I wanted to find a way to move alone, I didn't expect to get the chance so easily. I'll head to where the black metal board is stored. He began to fly madly about the palace. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. Within the depths of the shrine, Da La Shah sat crossed-legged on the ice floor, his formless god energy permeating throughout the entire palace. He smiled. Wu Yai's headed to the technique shrine. Bei Fa has gone to the 10,000 item shrine. Wu Yai sure is something. She knew that Bei Fa wasn't in a good mood, hence she didn't keep him company. Instead she headed off to the technique shrine. Bei Fa isn't trained in our ways. It's okay. There are all sorts of items there from the other races. It'll help him cheer up. After which he closed his eyes and connected to the virtual world, chatting with other Dokas within. To the special life form Dokas. Over the long periods of time, there were indeed many daring explorers that have come before. Even though 99% of them had been caught, there would still be lucky ones. This made it so that there would always be others that would come and try their luck. After they are killed, the many treasures and items they carry with them were mostly useless to the Dokas. Normally they were all just used as decoration and toys. Da La Shah had placed all these toys within a shrine, and called it the 10,000 items shrine. The black metal board was located here as well. Within the shrine, Luo Feng turned casually and arrived there. As the entire palace had been scanned in detail by the monkey before, he already had a clear idea of the construct of the place. Right now, it's just luck. He stepped in on the cold ground, his gaze fixed on a bunch of items before him. It was filled with everything: weapons, armors, special materials, etc. They were all placed randomly, and they weren't worth much, at least not to Luo Feng. Black metal board. Luo Feng waved his hand and moved the items to the side, looking at the black metal board buried below. The third metal board. He knew the moment he touched it that this was what he was looking for. Now it's up to luck. I have to leave the moment I take it. He thought. It'll take a while from the palace to get out of Ice Hell Star. Within this time, if Da La Shah discovers something off, then I'll be in trouble. However, she shouldn't be too wary of her own race. I have a chance. And from the looks of it, seeing how the board is placed here casually, it's obviously not valued. Luo Feng didn't hesitate anymore. He kept the board in his world ring and headed out. He flew within the palace, not too fast or too slow. As he headed out of the entrance of the palace, a voice resounded in his ears: Bei Fa, you are returning. Not going to wait for Wu Yai. No, I wish to return. Even though he shook within, he still managed to say, I'll come visit teacher again soon. Go on. Da La Shah said affectionately. Luo Feng couldn't care about anything else, quickly flying out and heading out of the Ice Hell Star. Even though he could teleport, it wasn't something he dared to do, because the moment he teleported, he would be discovered. This was something the Virtual Universe Company's information had stated. Even though he was in a rush, he had to continue flying. Ice Hell Star's virtual world. Within a vast plaza, Da La Shah was sitting with 3 other Dokas, drinking wine and shaking his head. This child Bei Fa. I wonder what's wrong, when he came to me earlier. He seemed to be troubled and I felt like there was some change. Maybe his confession was rejected. Another Doku laughed. At 1,000 Dokas, even though they were unable to reproduce, the green Dokas had always chased after the purple ones, living together. The green ones were more numerous, and the purple ones were less. Also, the purple Dokas enjoyed living in solitude more, hence it was normal to face rejection. Da La Shah, you said Bei Fa visited you and was troubled. I just saw him with Bo Ya, and they were laughing happily, playing some battle games. Laughing. Da La Shah's expression changed. The Dokas were pure, they wouldn't lie to each other. How could he have been troubled earlier and then gone to play battle games, laughing happily at the same time? Da La Shah, who was sitting crossed-legged within the shrine, suddenly opened his eyes, his expression changed. A formless god energy swiftly spread outside, sweeping past Moshe Luo Feng, who had just flown out the pathway of the Ice Hell Star. His spirit energy easily scanned through his body, discovering that the fake Bay FA had a life crystal within. It's not Bay FA. Intruder. His eyes were instantly filled with murderous intent. Da La Shaw instantly teleported and vanished from the shrine, appearing before Luo Feng. *********************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************Although there were powerful dokas that could do it, like Da La Shaw, they normally didn't use it, relying on universe travel to visit their friends. Because the quickest method used by intruders was teleporting. As long as the dokas didn't use it, the moment they discovered a teleportation space ripple, it would definitely be an intruder. Other than that, when chasing down an intruder, they could all use it. In all, discovering a teleportation space ripple meant intruders, or a major situation. Intruder. An intruder is here. Within the many ice hell stars about, 10 powerful dokas felt the space ripple. And within the 2 biggest ice hell stars, one with a diameter of 13,000 kilometers and another with 96,000 kilometers, the terrifying knights lived within them. The special life form knights, they were terrifying from birth. Intruder. There's an intruder. The 2 knights instantly felt it too. As long as I fly out of this ice hell star and accelerate to light speed, I'll be able to escape. Luo Feng rushed out of the pathway and continued to fly. As he got close to the outer surface, a powerful air force similar to Earth's atmosphere rushed forward. He had to fly out to accelerate to light speed. Rumble. A powerful energy appeared in the air before him. It was the purple silhouette Da La Shaw, filled with murderous intent, his eyes fixed on Luo Feng as he roared, "Intruder." Luo Feng, who was flying out, saw the silhouette. His expression changed. Da La Shaw was filled with rage within. She didn't expect an intruder to disguise himself as one of her clansmen. She even rubbed his braids. This enraged her further. No mercy. Rumble. She teleported to the air above Luo Feng, looking coldly at the fake Bay FA. Without saying anything, she pointed a finger at him. A purple light instantly shot at Moshe Luo Feng. Luo Feng knew things went good. Shit, I've been discovered, Plan C. He immediately teleported. However, the purple light's speed was incredibly fast. It shot through his body and a terrifying cold pierced his body, almost like it was freezing his consciousness. It couldn't be helped, the power of this beam was against the soul, however it was completely useless against the Moshe body, which was immune to soul attacks. He vanished. What? She couldn't believe it. She had used her full strength to freeze the enemy's soul, yet he still escaped. She closed her eyes and sensed about, connecting with the space ripples. However, Luo Feng's teleport was too far away, exceeding her area. Da La Shaw, don't make such a mistake again, leave it to me. A booming voice resounded within her mind. Leader, he stole a black metal board. I know, leave it to me. Yes, leader. She nodded, feeling unjust within. Yet she still didn't think that the thief could get away. As she teleported, the terrifying 2 knights had felt it. Even if she let the thief get away, with the 2 knights, any one of them could easily catch up to him. Moshe Luo Feng appeared in the space far away before vanishing again. He appeared in the air above a continent before vanishing again. Madly teleporting about, every time over 1 light year away, as he didn't care about the dangers, and was simply fleeing as fast as he could. In the air above a continent, a powerful green silhouette stood in space, his eyes smiling. This punk sure is fast. However, he only knows how to teleport. Compared to grasping the entire space laws, it's an entire different level. How can he escape? He began to sense the ripples all about, easily finding a spot where there were teleporting ripples. There. He flashed and began to hunt. Once one comprehended teleportation, whether it was a sector lord or emperor, the distance would all be about the same. It was a reflection of the comprehension of the space laws. Communing with the space ripples and teleporting via the ripples to a faraway location. Comprehending teleportation would allow one to usually sense up to 1 light year away in a particular direction. However, sensing in all directions, that was much more taxing. And the distance wouldn't even be 1% of working in one direction. Hence, as Luo Feng fled, Da Shaw had no way to guess where he teleported to. The knights, however, were different. Once one fully comprehends the space laws, the knights' teleportation was much more powerful. They could easily teleport over 1,000 light years. Even sensing in all directions, they could cover over 10 light years in area. Luckily Luo Feng teleported constantly, changing his direction over and over. It would take the knight quite some effort to catch him. Moshe Luo Feng appeared above a mountain range, his hands and feet landing. He once again vanished. A green silhouette appeared right after before vanishing again. One was fleeing while the other one chased. This punk is really not stopping. The green silhouette chased for 10 seconds before he got impatient. As they teleported 10 times per second, and he had originally wanted to easily capture this intruder. It was much harder now. He could only teleport after he detected where Luo Feng was. The moment he confirmed, he teleported, however that time alone was enough for Luo Feng to get away. I'll have to use some energy. He stood in space, surrounded by little black mountains. There were many ship remains amongst the mountains. This was one of the dangerous regions in the Black Flower region, of course to the knights, he couldn't be bothered, he unleashed his move. Rumble. A blinding green light shot out from his body, he instantly became a star, shooting lights in all directions. He gave off such powerful energy to disturb the space ripples about, with a knight's strength, he could control the entire space laws, allowing him to easily seal and disrupt space ripples. Just affecting the ripples was easy enough, but it had to be within a fixed area. He had burnt some of his undying energy, and his strength had soared to an unbelievable level. Almost like plucking a string, rippling throughout. The knight had used his full strength to disrupt the space ripples around, spreading over 10 light years. A light year was a huge area. In a normal fight, knights had no way to affect 1 light year in area. Even if it was simply affecting the space ripples, they still had to burn some undying energy to affect over 10 light years. Amidst the mist. Moshe Luo Feng was about to teleport when he turned and sighed. He clearly felt the space ripples affected, with broken lines all over, even though they would recover quickly, for now, he couldn't teleport. Rumble. A powerful pressure extended over, covering the space. The area around naturally had its space locked down too. The powerful seal made Luo Feng immobile, almost like a full binding. Greetings, knight. Moshe Luo Feng shouted. Return to your original form, I don't like killing my own clansmen. The voice boomed as the green silhouette appeared before him. He was about the same height as the other Docus, but his pressure was much stronger. The willpower and strength he gave off shocked even Luo Feng. Since you want to kill me, why order me to do something? Luo Feng looked at the knight before him. The Green Knight looked at him. You sure got some guts. As a Moshe clansman, you aren't afraid of soul control. Yes. Luo Feng nodded. The Moshe clansman didn't have a soul, naturally it couldn't be controlled. This was the difference in life forms itself. Luo Feng had checked up on this long ago, he was clear on this. Speak, Moshe genius. The knight looked at him. A sector lord and yet you can teleport. Even amongst the Moshe, you are definitely an absolute genius, but you came to us. What I'm curious about is, from the way you kept teleporting, you knew well you couldn't escape, yet you still did something so useless, forcing me to burn 0.1% of my undying body. You should know that doing so would only enrage me. Knowing there's no escape and enraging a knight, that's not wise at all. Yes. Moshe Luo Feng smiled, kill me and you'll know the reason. Don't tell me. The knight gave off murderous energy, revealing a look of rage. He waved his hand and with a rumble, a formless slap smashed the Moshe body, instantly reducing him to nothing. Even the normal world rings and devices etc. were all destroyed. Nothing. That black metal board, it's gone. The knight looked about. He had destroyed everything and even amongst the fragments, he didn't find anything. His expression changed. Within the entire Ice Hell Star, The other Dokus all didn't know the importance of the black metal board, however only he and the other purple knight knew. "I've been played," he raged. He must have placed it somewhere else when he teleported. In another area of the Black Flower region, thousands of light years away from Ice Hell Star, a living ship was floating. Within, Luo Feng stood in the control room, wielding the stone in his hand, smiling. "I've got it." To get this 9-volume manual, he had come up with many plans. Just the Moshe plan alone had 6 side plans, enough to deal with all sorts of predicaments. This plan C had taken in consideration the knights not being willing to burn his undying energy. According to this plan, if the Moshe body were to be discovered, immediately take the board and teleport away. After that, teleport over and over. The process had to be fast. 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 No hesitation. Teleporting over and over, even if the knight wanted to kill him, he wouldn't bear to burn his undying energy immediately. Only when he got impatient would he do so. However, in truth, within the mountain range from before, Luo Feng had arranged for a slave to be in a world ring there, hiding within. When the Moshe teleported there and landed on the mountain, he would place a stone-like world ring there and teleport away. The Green Knight would keep chasing, not knowing that the slave had taken the ring away and gone through universe travel. After 10 seconds in the dark universe, they would have already reached a far enough place. "I've got the item, time to leave. I lost an official devil shell monkey, and the Moshe body this time. However, it would just take some energy to reproduce him." Luo Feng wielded the stone and smiled. Suddenly, a cold energy engulfed the area. Luo Feng's expression changed, turning. A beautiful purple-robed demon stood behind him. Luo Feng was stunned. He knew just who this was. It was the other knight of Ice Hell Star, the Purple Doku Knight. This video will end here.